Happy lunch hour, guys. Okay, it's a gorgeous day. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning here, and it's in the high 40s, low 50s right now. It's supposed to get up to 78 today. So, uh, nice day to get out and work in the yard. It's supposed to rain later this week. Perfect time to get some plants in. So, today my cabbage will go into the ground finally. I'm probably a couple of weeks late from when I wanted to do it, but weather kind of plays into it. You guys know how that goes. But what I wanted to show you today is something people ask about and everybody has problems with is weed control in your gardens. Now, we all have to weed the garden. There's no way to get rid of them. I mean, that's it. You can't have sterile soil, otherwise nothing grows in it. So it doesn't matter how much prevention you do. Birds are going to poop with weed seeds in it. They're going to carry seeds and drop things. The wind is going to blow dandelion seeds into your garden. You're going to get some. All right. There's nothing worse for a gardener than spending an entire Saturday out in his garden pulling weeds. Okay. And you got to get rid of them because all they're doing is taking all the nutrients that you want your vegetables or your fruits or your flowers or whatever to take up. So what I want to show you is how I use landscape fabric, okay? The woven stuff. You never want to put like black plastic or on there or anything because water can't permeate it, okay? Air can't permeate it. So you will, dry out your plants because no water gets in. They will starve for oxygen because no air gets in. So you use a woven weed fabric. And if you see it there, I've got it laid down. This is the big garden. I've got it laid down in a 24 by 24 square right now. Okay. It's not the whole garden because the last 16 feet over there where my potatoes go, and it's kind of hard to hill potatoes if you've got landscape fabric down. So that gets bare ground. That will have to be weeded. Not a big deal. Scuffle hoe, I can get rid of that. And because I'll be hilling and everything, no big deal. All right. So, few tips on using landscape fabric. First one, it's only good where it is. I mean, this is the thing. People have a tendency to cut it short or cut it right to the edge or anything. It's going to move, okay? I don't care how many staples you put in there. Do yourself a favor. When you get the staples, get the galvanized ones, okay? Yeah, they're a little more expensive. They'll last you more than a year or two. The regular steel ones, rust, break, you're buying new ones. Get the galvanized ones. They'll last you for years, okay? But the first thing you need to do, and I'll try to show you this here, if I can get down there, is you need to tuck it in along the edges, okay? Obviously in a raised bed. Tuck it into where you're going there because the weeds will still come up from the sides. If you're just doing a garden plot, okay, you didn't have to build up a raised bed like I do. Lay it out and wherever it ends, okay, and you're good. But if you're doing it in a raised bed, tuck it in on the sides. You might still get a weed or two there because they'll still work their way around, but you're not going to get a bunch, okay? So that's the biggest tip I can give you. Obviously, follow instructions putting it in. Make sure you overlap it by 6 inches while you're doing it. Try to keep it straight so your lines are straight on there so you have a neat and organized garden. How to cut it, okay? And I'll show you the tools you need for this. This is not difficult. A critical tool is a good torch, okay? This is just a little Burns-O-Matic torch, okay? Probably can't see that, but always want to cut it with a torch because you're melting that plastic together. If you use scissors, if you use a knife, it's gonna fray it because it's woven material. If you melt it, you're burning the edge. Guys who are ex-military, you guys know this one. Think of your boot laces. How did you fix your boot laces? You melted the tips and that was it. You didn't cut the tips, okay? Same principle. That's the biggest tool that you absolutely have to have. This is going to allow you to cut your landscape fabric to size. And if you want, you can also use this to burn the holes. Again, not cut, burn the holes in the fabric for where your plants go. That's one way. You won't get super neat holes, but you can make them any size you want. You're just cutting around, take out the center, and poof, you're done. A neater way to do this is with a weed torch, okay? And literally what I can do is heat up the end. You've got this can on here, which is about 2 inches, 2.5 inches, thereabouts, or whatever. And once it's warm, don't use the flame at this point, but heat it up for 30 seconds or whatever it is. And then you can just touch this on there, and the edge of this can will melt you out a nice circle. So that's what I'm going to do next, and I'll show you how this works. Okay, so now I am 25 feet away from my camera. So for all of those of you that complain about my microphone, this is it, okay? First thing, if you notice, there are turquoise lines on the landscape fabric. They're all parallel, they're a foot apart, makes for easy measurement, okay? Gets you one direction. You also notice there I have a tape measure put out here because I need to space my plants appropriately. For my cabbage, they need to be 2 feet apart vertically, 2 feet apart horizontally. So, if I lay out a tape measure, all I have to do is follow the turquoise line and go off my 1 foot, 3 foot, 5 foot, 7 foot on down, and I go. So, let's turn this thing on. Turn it back off. I've heated up the can. Do not touch it. But now I can just put this right down on the plastic. And take a second here. Yep, probably didn't have it heated up quite enough, so let's do that again. And now go on there. I get a nice piece of black plastic in there. Do not touch this because obviously it's hot, but nice little piece of needle nose pliers, and they're out. And I can just move on to the next one. And I've got another one. So that is the easiest way to get nice, neat holes in your landscape fabric to control your weeds. I'll get back over here. Trust me, it'll save you hours upon hours upon hours of weeding. You don't need a big hole for your plants. Okay, I mean, like I said, that's about a 2-inch round hole. That's plenty for the stalks of cabbage, tomatoes, peppers, you name it. The bigger you make the hole, the more chances you have weeds coming around those. So get yourself some landscape fabric. I'll put a link below to the one I use. Get it on Amazon. I mean, it's about $100 for, I think it's 330 linear feet 6 feet wide. Obviously, if you got, say, 4x8 garden, get the 4-foot one and do it that way. But this will save, for the little bit of money you spend, it'll save you a ton of time. This stuff will easily last you, if you burn it and not cut it, okay, 5, 6, 7 years. So, I mean, if you start breaking that out, if it costs you $20 a year to not have to weed, that's certainly worth it. Have a good one, guys. I got to get the rest of these holes cut, and then I'm planting some cabbage. See y'all. Pinball out.